Hello and welcome to our channel, where we explore simple ways to live a healthier and more fulfilling life. Today we are going to talk about a powerful secret from one of the world's longest living communities. It is a simple principle from Okinawa, Japan, called Hara Hachi Bu. This phrase is a gentle reminder to help us manage our portions, improve our health, and perhaps even add more vibrant years to our lives. It is not a strict diet, but rather a mindful approach to eating that has been practiced for centuries. Before we dive into this wonderful concept, I have a simple question for you to consider. Think about your most recent meal, perhaps your breakfast this morning, and ask yourself how you felt right after you finished eating. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I would genuinely love to hear from you. Let's begin by understanding what Harahachi Bu truly means. The Japanese phrase Harahachi Bu translates to eat until you are 80% full. This might sound simple, but it represents a profound shift from the way many of us are used to eating. In many cultures, we are often encouraged to clean our plates, eating until we feel completely stuffed. This ancient Okinawan practice, however, suggests that we should stop eating when we are no longer hungry, rather than when we are completely full. There is a small but very important difference between feeling not hungry and feeling full. That 20% gap is the secret to many of the health benefits we will discuss today. The wisdom behind this practice is rooted in our own biology. It takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to send a signal to your brain that it has received enough food. When you eat very quickly and continue until you feel full, you have likely already eaten more than your body actually needs. By the time your brain gets the message, you have overshot the mark and are entering the territory of being uncomfortably full. Practicing Harahachi Bu means learning to listen to your body's subtle cues and stopping just before you reach that point. Imagine two important messengers in your body that control hunger and fullness. One is a hormone called ghrelin, which you can think of as the go signal or the hunger hormone. It is produced in your stomach, and its levels rise when you haven't eaten for a while, telling your brain that it is time to seek out food. The other messenger is a hormone called leptin, which acts as the stop signal or the fullness hormone. Leptin is produced by your fat cells, and its job is to tell your brain that you have enough energy stored and you can stop eating. When you eat slowly and mindfully, you give these hormones enough time to do their jobs properly. As you eat, your ghrelin levels start to fall, and your leptin levels begin to rise. Stopping at 80% full allows you to align your eating with these natural hormonal signals. This prevents the overconsumption of food that can happen when we eat too fast or ignore our body's messages. This practice stands in stark contrast to the clean your plate club that many of us were raised in. While well-intentioned, this mindset teaches us to rely on external cues, like an empty plate, rather than our internal feelings of hunger and satisfaction. Harahachi Bu gently encourages us to shift our focus inward and trust our body's own wisdom. It's about rediscovering the ability to self-regulate, a skill that is natural but often forgotten in our modern world of abundance and fast-paced living. Now let us explore the incredible health benefits that come from adopting this simple practice. The most famous benefit associated with Harahachi Bu is its powerful link to longevity. Okinawa, Japan, is one of the world's blue zones, which are regions where people live exceptionally long and healthy lives. Researchers have studied these populations for decades, and their diet and eating habits are consistently identified as a key factor. The Okinawans traditionally consume a diet rich in vegetables and plant-based foods, but their practice of caloric moderation through Harahachi Bu is equally important. By consistently eating slightly less, they place less metabolic stress on their bodies over a lifetime. This gentle, consistent calorie restriction has been shown in numerous studies to extend lifespan in various organisms. It helps reduce the production of free radicals, which are unstable molecules that can damage our cells and contribute to aging and disease. Think of it like running a car engine. If you constantly run it at maximum speed, it will wear out much faster than if you drive it at a steady, moderate pace. Another immediate and noticeable benefit is in the area of weight management. Harahachi Bu is perhaps one of the most effortless ways to manage your weight without ever having to count a single calorie. When you stop eating at 80% full, you naturally create a small calorie deficit at almost every meal. This small deficit, when practiced consistently over weeks and months, can lead to gradual and sustainable weight loss. It avoids the feeling of deprivation that comes with restrictive diets because you are still eating the foods you enjoy. You are simply consuming a little bit less of them, which makes it a much more pleasant and sustainable long-term strategy. If you were to reduce your intake by just 200 calories a day by following this principle, you could lose around 20 pounds in a year without feeling like you are on a diet at all. This approach also helps to reset your body's natural weight set point over time. Your digestive health will also see significant improvements when you practice Hara Hachi Bu. Overeating puts a tremendous strain on your digestive system. Your stomach has to produce more acid, your pancreas has to release more enzymes, and your intestines have to work harder to process the large volume of food. This can lead to uncomfortable symptoms like bloating, gas, indigestion, and acid reflux. When you leave a little room in your stomach, you give your digestive organs the space and capacity to work efficiently. Food is broken down more effectively, nutrients are absorbed more readily, and the whole process becomes smoother and more comfortable. Many people who adopt this practice report a significant reduction in after-meal discomfort and a general feeling of lightness. Beyond digestion, this practice has profound effects on your metabolic health. Metabolic health refers to how well your body processes the energy from the food you eat. One of the key players in this process is the hormone insulin, which helps move sugar from your bloodstream into your cells to be used for energy. When we consistently overeat, especially foods high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, our cells can become resistant to insulin's message. This condition, known as insulin resistance, is a major risk factor for developing type 2 diabetes. By practicing Harahachi Bu, you reduce the overall load on your metabolic system. Your body needs to produce less insulin after each meal, which helps keep your cells sensitive and responsive to its signals. This leads to more stable blood sugar levels, reducing the energy peaks and crashes that can leave you feeling tired and craving more sugar. It's a powerful tool for preventing or managing metabolic conditions and maintaining steady energy throughout the day. On a deeper cellular level, Harahachi Bu promotes a process called autophagy. Autophagy is a Greek term that literally means self-eating. It is your body's essential cellular cleanup and recycling program. During autophagy, your cells identify and remove old, damaged, or dysfunctional components. This process is crucial for keeping your cells healthy, preventing the buildup of cellular junk, and protecting against diseases like cancer and neurodegenerative disorders. This cellular cleanup process works best when your body is in a state of mild caloric restriction, not when it is constantly busy digesting large meals. By giving your body a break from constant digestion, you allow it to switch gears and focus on this vital repair and maintenance work. It is like giving your home a thorough spring cleaning, but on a microscopic level inside every cell of your body. Finally, you might be surprised to learn that eating a little less can actually improve your mental clarity and focus. Have you ever experienced that sleepy, foggy-headed feeling after a large, heavy meal, often called a food coma? This happens because your body has to divert a significant amount of blood and energy to your digestive system to handle the large meal. This leaves less energy available for your brain, leading to that feeling of sluggishness. When you stop at 80% full, you avoid this massive diversion of resources. Your body can digest the meal more efficiently, leaving plenty of energy for your brain to function at its best. You will likely notice that you feel more alert, focused, and productive after your meals instead of feeling weighed down and ready for a nap. Now that we understand the wonderful benefits, let's move on to the practical steps for making Harahachi Bu a part of your daily life. The single most important technique for practicing Harahachi Bu is to slow down your eating. In our fast-paced world, many of us eat our meals in a rush, barely tasting the food. Slowing down is the key that unlocks your ability to hear your body's fullness signals. A simple yet powerful trick is to consciously put your fork or spoon down on the plate between each bite of food. This small pause forces you to break the rhythm of continuous eating and gives you a moment to check in with yourself. It prevents you from mindlessly shoveling food in and allows your brain the time it needs to register what your stomach is feeling. Another critical component of slowing down is to chew your food thoroughly. Aim to chew each mouthful of food about 20 to 30 times until it is almost a liquid consistency before you swallow. This might feel strange at first if you are used to chewing just a few times. Thorough chewing not only helps you eat more slowly, but it also aids digestion significantly by breaking down the food mechanically. It allows your saliva's enzymes to begin the digestive process, making the job easier for your stomach. Sipping water throughout your meal can also help you pace yourself. Taking a moment to have a sip of water between bites creates a natural pause and also helps you feel fuller. It is important not to gulp down large amounts of water, as this can dilute your stomach acid, but gentle sips can be very beneficial. Finally, one of the biggest obstacles to slow, mindful eating is distraction. Try to make your meals a dedicated time for eating, free from the television, your smartphone, or reading the newspaper. When you are distracted, you are not paying attention to your food or your body, making it almost impossible to notice the subtle signs that you are reaching that 80% full point. Focus on the experience of eating, the flavors, the textures, and the aromas of your food. This leads us to the broader concept of mindful eating, which is the heart of Harahachi Bu. Mindful eating means bringing a full, non-judgmental awareness to the act of eating. Before you even take your first bite, take a moment to look at your food and appreciate it. Think about where it came from and the effort it took to bring it to your plate. As you eat, pay close attention to the sensory experience of each bite. What flavors can you identify? Is it sweet, savory, salty, or bitter? What is the texture like? Is it crunchy, soft, or chewy? This practice not only makes eating more enjoyable, but also keeps you connected to your body's signals. A helpful tool for this is to use a mental hunger and fullness scale from 1 to 10. Let 1 be starving and painfully hungry, and 10 be uncomfortably stuffed and sick. Before you start eating, ask yourself where you are on that scale, perhaps a 3 or 4. Your goal is to stop eating when you reach a 6 or 7, which represents being comfortably satisfied and no longer hungry. Stopping at this point is the essence of Harahachi Bu. Portion control is another practical aspect, and it doesn't have to involve complicated measuring cups or food scales. One of the simplest and most effective strategies is to use smaller plates, bowls, and even smaller utensils. Our brains often judge our portion size visually. A normal amount of food can look small on a large dinner plate, tempting us to serve more. The same amount of food on a smaller salad plate will look much more substantial and satisfying. This is a powerful psychological trick that can help you naturally reduce your portion sizes without feeling deprived. Another helpful habit is to serve your food in the kitchen and bring your plate to the table. Leaving the serving dishes on the table encourages family-style eating, where it's very easy to reach for a second or third helping without really thinking about it. By keeping the extra food out of sight, you create a conscious barrier. You have to physically get up if you want more food. This pause gives you a chance to ask yourself, am I still truly hungry, or do I just want more because it's there? When you do serve yourself, start with a smaller portion than you think you might need. Remember, you can always go back for a little more if you wait 20 minutes and find that you are genuinely still hungry. It is far easier to add more food to your plate than it is to take it away once you have already eaten it. While Hara Hachi Bu is about how much you eat, what you eat still plays a very important role. The traditional Okinawan diet provides a wonderful template for building a healthy plate. This diet is predominantly plant-based, with a strong emphasis on nutrient-dense, low-calorie foods. A simple guideline for structuring your meals is to fill half of your plate with colorful, non-starchy vegetables. Think of things like leafy greens, broccoli, bell peppers, carrots, and cabbage. These foods are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and they have a high water content which helps you feel full on very few calories. Aim for a serving that would be about the size of 2 of your open hands cupped together. Then, dedicate about a quarter of your plate to a source of lean protein. Protein is very important for maintaining muscle mass, especially as we get older, and it is also very satiating. Good sources include fish, chicken, beans, lentils, and tofu. A healthy portion of protein is generally about the size and thickness of a deck of playing cards or the palm of your hand. For example, this could be a small chicken breast or a piece of salmon. The final quarter of your plate can be filled with a complex carbohydrate. Unlike refined carbohydrates like white bread and sugar, Complex carbs provide sustained energy and fiber. Excellent choices include sweet potatoes, brown rice, quinoa, and whole grain bread. A sensible portion is about the size of your clenched fist, or what would fit into one cupped hand. This might look like one medium-sized sweet potato, or about half a cup of cooked brown rice. Do not forget to include a small amount of healthy fats in your meal. Fats are essential for brain health and the absorption of certain vitamins, and they also contribute to a feeling of fullness. Sources of healthy fats include avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil. A good portion size for fats is small. Think of about 1 tablespoon of olive oil, which is roughly the size of the tip of your thumb. Or consider a small handful of nuts, which would be about the amount that fits into a golf ball. Even with the best intentions, implementing a new habit can come with challenges. Social situations like eating at a restaurant or a family gathering can make it difficult to practice Harahachi Bu. Restaurant portions are often 2 or 3 times larger than what we need. In these situations, you can plan ahead by asking for a to-go box when your meal arrives and immediately setting aside half of it for later. You could also consider sharing an entree with a companion or ordering a healthy appetizer as your main course. At family dinners, you can politely decline second helpings by saying something like, "Everything was delicious, but I am perfectly satisfied, thank you." Focus on the social connection and conversation rather than making the food the central event. Another common hurdle is emotional eating, which is eating in response to feelings like stress, boredom, or sadness rather than true physical hunger. It is important to learn to distinguish between these 2 types of hunger. Physical hunger comes on gradually, is felt in the stomach, and is satisfied by any type of food. Emotional hunger often comes on suddenly, is felt as a craving for a specific comfort food, and is often accompanied by feelings of guilt afterward. When you feel the urge to eat, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, am I truly physically hungry? If the answer is no, try an alternative coping mechanism, such as going for a short walk, drinking a warm cup of herbal tea, or calling a friend to chat. Sometimes, especially in the beginning, you might stop eating and then find yourself feeling like you are still hungry a few minutes later. This is where the 20-minute rule becomes your best friend. Instead of immediately reaching for more food, make a commitment to wait for 20 minutes. Drink a glass of water, clear your plate, and engage in a different activity. More often than not, you will find that by the end of those 20 minutes, the feeling of hunger has passed, and you feel perfectly content. Your brain has simply caught up with your stomach. Finally, be patient and compassionate with yourself as you work to break a lifetime of old eating habits. The clean your plate mentality can be deeply ingrained in us from childhood. It will take time and consistent practice to unlearn this and learn to trust your body's internal signals instead. Remember that this is not about perfection. It is about progress. There will be days when you eat more than 80% full, and that is perfectly okay. Do not get discouraged. Simply acknowledge it without judgment and aim to listen to your body a little more closely at your next meal. Let's walk through what a sample day of eating using Harahachi Bu principles might look like. For breakfast, you might have a bowl of oatmeal. Instead of filling a large bowl to the brim, you would use a smaller one and serve a portion about the size of your fist. You could top it with a small handful of berries and a sprinkle of nuts, perhaps about a tablespoon worth. You would sit down without any distractions and eat it slowly, savoring each spoonful and putting your spoon down between bites. You would stop when you feel your initial hunger pangs have disappeared and you feel pleasantly energized, not weighed down. For lunch, you might prepare a large salad with a variety of colorful vegetables. You could add a portion of grilled chicken, about the size of a deck of cards, for protein. For a dressing, you could use a tablespoon of olive oil, the size of your thumb tip, mixed with lemon juice and herbs. As you eat, you would pay attention to the crunch of the lettuce and the flavor of the chicken. You would check in with yourself halfway through the meal to assess your fullness level, and you would stop when you feel you have had enough to carry you through the afternoon. You might find that you don't even need to finish the entire salad to reach your 80% point. For dinner, you could have a piece of baked salmon, about the size of a checkbook. Alongside it, you would have a generous serving of steamed broccoli, filling up half your plate. You could also have a small baked sweet potato, about the size of a computer mouse. You would enjoy this meal slowly, perhaps with family, focusing on the conversation as much as the food. You would aim to finish your meal feeling light and comfortable, with plenty of energy for your evening. This approach ensures you are getting a wide variety of nutrients from well-portioned, balanced meals, all while respecting your body's natural signals of fullness. Hara Hachi Bu works even better when it is integrated with other healthy habits. Proper hydration is a key partner to this practice. Sometimes our brains can mistake thirst for hunger. Before reaching for a snack, try drinking a full glass of water and waiting a few minutes to see if the feeling of hunger subsides. Staying well hydrated throughout the day can also help you feel fuller and more satisfied with your meals. Aim for about 8 glasses of water a day, but listen to your body's needs. Gentle, regular movement is another important component of a healthy lifestyle. Activities like walking, stretching, or gardening can improve your metabolism and digestion. A short, leisurely walk after a meal can be particularly beneficial for helping to regulate blood sugar levels. Movement also helps you stay more in tune with your body's physical sensations, which can enhance your ability to recognize hunger and fullness cues. The quality of your sleep has a surprisingly powerful effect on your appetite and eating habits. When you are sleep-deprived, your body produces more of the hunger hormone ghrelin and less of the fullness hormone leptin. This hormonal imbalance can make you feel hungrier than usual and lead to cravings for high-calorie, sugary foods. Prioritizing a good night's sleep, aiming for 7 to 8 hours, can make it much easier to manage your appetite and practice Harahachi Bu successfully. Finally, the Okinawan lifestyle emphasizes the importance of a strong social network, which they call a moai. This is a group of lifelong friends who support each other through all of life's ups and downs. Strong social connections and a sense of purpose are crucial for reducing stress. Since stress is a major trigger for overeating for many people, nurturing your relationships can have a direct and positive impact on your eating habits. In conclusion, Harahachi Bu is much more than just a diet rule. It is a gentle and sustainable philosophy for living. It is about treating your body with respect, listening to its wisdom, and finding a joyful balance with food. It frees you from the cycle of restrictive dieting and overeating, and instead offers a path to effortless weight management, improved health, and greater vitality. This is not a quick fix, but a lifelong practice that gets easier and more intuitive with time. By eating slowly, mindfully, and stopping when you are just satisfied, you are giving your body one of the greatest gifts you can. Remember to be patient and kind to yourself on this journey. Every meal is a new opportunity to practice and to connect more deeply with your own body. Thank you so much for joining me today to learn about this wonderful practice. I hope you found this information helpful and inspiring as you continue on your own health journey. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue to create and share valuable information for our community. Please remember that I am not a medical doctor. The information shared in this video is based on extensive research and personal experience in helping people with their health and wellness goals. It is intended for educational purposes only and should not be taken as medical advice. Please consult with your own healthcare provider or a registered dietitian before making any significant changes to your diet or lifestyle.